going on, Jerome's? So I understand that quarterback rankings, and especially tier quarterback rankings, are lazy, low-hanging fruit when it comes to content, but also I don't care. If you've been around this channel for more than 2 seconds, you know that you need to lower your expectations. Lower expectations, and we're doing this damn thing. So NFL quarterback rankings, tier rankings, headed into week 3. So tiers. We got tier 1, absolute tip of the spear operators, fantastic. You can win a Super Bowl with, right? A tier 1 is guys that you win a Super Bowl because of. Can win a Super Bowl with is in the very good category. You got good. Then you got Kirk Cousins. I wonder who's going to be there. Interesting, below average, ass, and the mega ass. All right, so that's how we're parsing things out. So first of all, I think we know. I think we know who is that boom doom 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 baby mega ass. So Daniel Jones, as well as Will Levis. The Titans should be 2-0, but they're not because of Will Levis, and just it's ridiculous, man. But Daniel Jones at that contract, you kind of feel bad for Giants fans. You really do, right? And you've had 6 years to determine if Daniel Jones is the guy. And I'm sorry, me so sorry that Ed Donashell fooled the world into thinking that Daniel Jones was something, and then he got paid. Happens, man. Next tier, ass. So controversial. Jalen Hurts right now is not very good. Right, his football sucks. I do like Jalen Hurts, the person. I think that he is absolute high character. I've loved him. Going back to Alabama, the way that he handled the benching for Tua, but Jalen Hurts is just not good right now. His accuracy is erratic and all over the place. His decision-making is not good. He can run, sure, but also, I mean, he's going to miss A.J. Brown for a little bit, and I feel like the Eagles they're very much on the verge of collapse. Like, I think that a couple bad losses, and Nick Sirianni's gone. I think that's where we're currently at. Bo Nix is terrible, right? And, yeah, to a degree, rookie quarterback, 2 games in. Fully understand that. Doesn't matter. Like, I don't like rankings that are like, oh, too soon to tell. Now, we're telling you right now. That's right. Bo Nix is ass. And so is stupid-ass Sean Payton. So is everyone. Deshaun Watson is also terrible. Frankly, I think they should bench him and put in Jameis. Yeah. As well as Skylar Thompson. I actually had to confirm that Skylar Thompson was a real person. Skylar Thompson, it sounds like a creative witness protection name. Did you know that he went to Kansas State? No one did. Not even Skylar Thompson's parents. Like, they're like, oh, Rock Chalk Jayhawk? No, ridiculous. But, Skylar, why'd they get rid of Mike White? I mean, Mike White could actually operate the offense, but Skylar, okay. Like, honestly, I think that you have zero chance of success in the National Football League if you were named after the worst character on Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had neo-Nazis and cartel members and murderers and like the worst human beings on earth, and somehow, some way, Walter's wife Skylar is still the worst. I don't know what it is. Walter, why are you trying to help the family? Next, below average. Also within the tiers are the rankings. So left better, and all the way towards the right is worse. So below average. We'll start at the end. So Caleb Williams, it's all of the offseason hype saying that Caleb Williams is entering the best situation for a number 1 quarterback in NFL history. Baloney. The offensive line is bad. The weapons are bad. Roma Dunze's terrible. DJ Moore is not earning that contract. Keenan Allen hasn't been healthy. And Caleb, he thinks that he can scramble and gamble like he's playing against Arizona State or Oregon State, except he's not. Ain't doing it, man. Ain't doing it. Aaron Rodgers. So just watching the games, like, he is still inflated as he's this alleged reigning, defending back-to-back MVP, which he's not. And also, he never was, by the way. # not my MVP. But Rodgers and the Jets, I do feel like this is sort of like the Eagles, where they are a house of cards, just teetering, just like a stiff breeze going to blow them over. That stiff breeze coming week 5 in London, Tottenham Stadium. Woo! Vikings coming for the Jets, baby. Trevor Lawrence, I had trepidation about giving Trevor Lawrence that contract. I honestly feel like Trevor Lawrence is a modern-day Andy Dalton, which is ironic because we'll get to Andy Dalton here in a second. But when Andy Dalton's with the Bengals, the late, great Chris Wessling had something called the Dalton scale, where Vikings fans are sort of familiar with this, with Kirk Cousins, where The quarterback is good enough that you're worried that you can't get better if you move on. And also, he's not elite. But because he's there, he has to get paid like he's elite because that's how the business works, right? I think that's what the Jaguars are with Trevor Lawrence. Jared Goff. So, the Lions and Ben Johnson, respect. Last year, they were fantastic. But this year out of the gate, they've been ass. Thank you, right? And the best part about the Lions offense is the running game. Their defense still has issues all over the place. Jared Goff can't get to his second, third reads. Ben Johnson's been exposed. And, I mean, Jared Goff was fine when he was with McVay. And that's really about it. I wasn't buying that all of a sudden he was becoming an all-pro quarterback. It happened. Andy Dalton take over for Bryce Young in Carolina. Now, Dalton, like Jabroni Brisket, is a perfectly fine veteran backup quarterback. He can distribute the football. He's going to be able to move the offense. Is he necessarily going to elevate this team? Probably not, but he might by default because Bryce Young was dragging this team down so bad. And with Brissett, so you see why he's playing. Because if Drake May was behind this offensive line, I mean, it would not be good. But Brissett, he's been able to buy some time. He's been able to make some throws, and you got to respect the work that he's doing as the Patriots have been feisty. I mean, the upset win on the road against Cincy. They hung with Seattle to the very end. So I mean, New England's staying above water because of Jabroni Brisket. Interesting. So Jaden Daniels' quarterback rating is actually pretty damn good. But in terms of getting the ball downfield, it's not there. But running, he doesn't have weapons, and I'm not buying Cliff Kingsbury as his OC. But you do see the talent there, and the kid is box office, and I think that they will be able to build a franchise around him. Minshew's always interesting. Like Minshew is like a cooler Case Keenum. You know what I mean? Where he's short, doesn't have a huge arm, is kind of accurate, but just the moxie, just the huevos. Be able to go out there and grind out, get things done. It kind of reminds me of Joe Cap in a way, except that he throws the ball with the laces. And Minshew, you see why Minshew mania is quasi a thing, and help really. You got that upset win on the road against the Ravens, but really it was the Ravens just kind of not closing the door. Justin Fields with the Steelers. Steelers are 2-0, and frankly, they're doing some okay things. You don't want to give Arthur Smith credit, but I do feel like things are. Don't want to say things are slowing down for Justin Fields, but they're dangerous enough, especially with Fields' mobility, where they could be viable all season. And I do think that Fields should start over Wilson the rest of the way. Then you got Anthony Richardson. So Richardson was ass, thank you, against the Packers. But I mean, those bombs against the Texans, certainly there. Plus mobility, size. Obviously, he's still learning on the job. I think he's had 18 career starts since high school. Yeah. So still certainly a work in progress, but he is definitely interesting to me. Next here, so Kirk Cousins. Why do they still have him in the Vikings uniform? Much better. So Kirk Cousins. If the Eagles didn't give it away now, this would be a different conversation. This Kirk Cousins tier would be much lower. But, I mean, Kirk had some nice throws in that second half, and that final drive was fantastic. Still not trusting his right foot. He still has a dip in velocity because he's not pushing off that foot. But we'll see. Geno, I love Geno Smith, man. Like they wrote him off. He didn't write back. And now Seattle's 2-0. They're riding pretty high. But is Geno the type of quarterback who can get you over the end line? That's a question. Dak. So Dak is the new Kirk Cousins, where he'll put up big time stats. He got big time money. But when the lights are bright, can you trust him? Like, I trust Dak Prescott, but I don't trust him, if that makes sense. Doesn't make any sense at all, but I don't care. Next up, good. Hashtag good. Also, Sling and Sam Darnold, the Niners. America's quarterback. There we go. So, right to left. So, I understand that Malik Willis is probably going to start this week. But Jordan Love, respect. Jordan Love is good, but also the fact that he became the highest paid player in NFL history before Dak, based off of half a good season of football. I mean, go back and look at that first Lambeau game, Vikings versus Packers, where Flores just had Jordan Love in jail. It's just amazing, man. Then you got Justin Herbert. Herbert got dinged up, but I think he'll be fine. And I think that he is operating within the parameters of what Harbaugh wants to do on offense. And frankly, I think taking a lot of the pressure off his shoulders could be a good thing. as the Chargers playing some tough physical football right now. Derek Carr. All right, so got to eat some crow in this. I've never liked Derek Carr. I always thought that Derek Carr is who the media wanted you to think that Kirk Cousins was, but he and Clint Kubiak, I mean, they're out there, they're balling as of right now. Kyler Murray's looking really damn good. The Cardinals should have beat the Bills week 1, but putting the bang thing on the Rams. I mean, Kyler, he looks dialed in. He looks focused because the new Call of Duty doesn't come out until late October. But him, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, I mean, the Cardinals, I've said all along, the Cardinals are going to be interesting. They got Sling and Sam Darnold, whatever. So Darnold is operating within the parameters of the Kevin O'Connell offense. He's got weapons. He's getting protected. Got a good running game. Flores defense opposite of him. And he's just doing what he's asked to do. And also that 97-yard touchdown pass where it was a 58-yard frozen rope, just complete dot in the middle of the field. Gorgeous, man. Also that third and 8 throw to Jalen Speedy Naylor is fantastic as well. Joe Burrow. So Burrow used to be in that tier 1 and Super Bowl tiers, but I don't know, as of right now, like, you haven't really seen it. You struggled mightily week 1 against the Patriots, had some great moments against the Chiefs, but also, I don't know, it's like something's missing, and you could blame it on the weapons. No Higgins. Chase is sort of mentally checked out. Offensive line still is bad, but I just don't know what it is with Burrow, but I'm sure that he eventually will bounce back. Can win a Super Bowl with, so still have major respect to Brock Purdy. I mean, Flores had him in a blender on Sunday, but he is a guy that makes good decisions, gets the ball out, gets the ball downfield, and so I think I've come around on Purdy. Like, yeah, is he a game manager? Yes. You know who also was a game manager throughout most of his career? Tom Brady. Yeah, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to make, no-look sidearm passes, for all the highlights. No, just distribute the ball and play good football. But Niners without Debo now and also without McCaffrey, so we'll see. But I've come around. Like, I still have a lot of respect for Brock Purdy. Also, Baker Mayfield. So I love Baker Mayfield's moxie, and I always have, where didn't work out in Cleveland and the Panthers, whatever. But he found a home with the Bucs. And I feel like he drives with that fan base. He's got great weapons in Evans and Godwin. And Baker's an undersized quarterback. Doesn't have the rocket cannon for an arm, but he just has balls, man. Like, he's an upgraded version of Gardner Minshew and Case Keenum. But what really stood out to me, so Minshew grew up in the suburbs of Austin, Texas, right? University of Texas. Mac Brown didn't recruit him. Went to Texas Tech, and then he walked on at Oklahoma. With Bob Stoops. And this is after Trevor Knight had won the MVP of the Sugar Bowl after Oklahoma beat Alabama, right? So just having the balls to be like, I'm still going to walk on. I'm still going to win the starting job. I'm Baker freaking Mayfield. And then he won the Heisman and ended up being the number 1 overall pick. Like, really respect what he's doing with the Bucs. Lamar Jackson, I know that Lamar has had issues, but he'll be fine. The Ravens offense will be fine. This might be a little bit high for Lamar right now, but I still believe in his talent, but I do have reservations. And Stafford obviously is Super Bowl caliber, but not without Kevin O'Connell. But the Rams I think are just too decimated at this point, but this isn't a team ranking. This is more of a quarterback ranking. And also CJ Stroud's just the man. All right. And in terms of, like we said, game manager, taking what is there. I mean, C.J. Stroud is that too. Like, Stroud has a great arm. He has solid mobility. He's huge. He's tough to bring down. But at the end of the day, all he does is go through his progressions and finds the open man and distributes the football accurately. And that's the name of the game at quarterback. And C.J. Stroud is really, really damn good. Major test for the Vikings on Sunday. And lastly, tier 1. So, I was off the Josh Allen wagon for a while, but just watching him just completely take over this team, it's fantastic and it's amazing. Like, his mobility, of course, is off the charts, but the grittiness, the toughness, everything. Like, Josh Allen is, respect. And then Mahomes. So, yeah, does Mahomes get the benefit of the doubt from the officials a lot? Yes. yes, he does. But also, if you need a drive, if you need a score, I mean, Mahomes is going to get it to you 9 times out of 10. All right, so still have to respect greatness. But that's it. That's at quarterback tier rankings for week 3. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.